Hello, folks. Welcome to FEAST Foreplay, the interview podcast series where we talk about FEAST, the Festival of Embodiment and Sexual Transformation that is happening here again in the Northern Rivers of New South Wales, Australia, this May 2026, the 21st to the 24th of May. I'm Jordan Hackett. I'm one of FEAST's directors, along with Susan Stark, an amazing sexological bodyworker, my business partner. And tickets are now open to our festival. Third round tickets are available. So if you're interested in that, jump on the link in the description of this video podcast. And I'm here joined today by one of our incredible facilitators, Sam Beer. Super excited to be chatting with Sam. She's an amazing person, someone who's been in the sexuality space for a long time, has been a sex work practitioner for a long time, and then in the last 4 to 5 years has taken a real passion and interest in the education and personal empowerment of both clients and practitioners and sex workers, and helping uplift people's awareness and their ability to actually know what's happening in their own bodies, know what they want, be able to take empowered steps towards that. And I just love your unique way, Sam, your creativity, your spark, your playfulness. And we've seen that she's brought that to the festival last year. We're really excited for her to be bringing it again. So thank you for being here and having this chat with me.
Oh, it is my pleasure to be here. I had the best time at FEAST last year. It was actually my first FEAST, and I was facilitating a few things, but just had such an incredible, it felt like a big family festival. I mean, partly because I happen to know quite a few of the people, but because I also met a whole lot of folk who I hadn't met before and could have these really like intimate conversations and experiences. And by the end of being in that kind of space for 3 days, like everyone does feel like a big family. And like I'm so grateful to you and Susan for putting it on. You create such a beautiful thing for the community and for people to come and experience this way of being and connecting.
Yeah, community is core to what we do in a really tangible and integrated way, and it's going to be core to this conversation today as well, so I'm excited. And before we dive into that, I'd love to hear what's a unique element or a unique passion of your work or your professional experience that you bring to the sexuality space, because we're all sexological body workers. That's one of the unifying factors of our facilitator team. But yeah, what's a particular passion of yours in sexuality work?
As you was like, I started thinking, okay, what is unique about me? Oh my goodness, that feels you described me as playful when you were introducing me, and I get that reflected back quite a lot. And I really find that playfulness is such a beautiful inroad to eroticism and connection for me. That's something that I really love about like the facilitation that I do in the workshops, is that even if we're touching on things that can feel quite weighty or core aspects of experience in the world and identity, which sometimes it goes there. Eroticism touches every part of us. There's a sense still of like lightheartedness, and you can play with them and sort of like juggle them around and see where things go in your body. I think playfulness would be what I hope to bring at least, and yeah, a good compass for me.
Yeah, beautiful.
Where is my playfulness?
Yeah, I think it's such a gift because especially, we have like FEAST. I wouldn't call FEAST like necessarily a self-development retreat, but it's got that interest. It's got that curiosity of like, how am I knowing myself? How am I exploring myself? And so it definitely easily falls into that category. And I think a byproduct of those spaces can really easily become like quite a serious sense of, what am I doing here? And when we meet things that are challenging, it can be natural to get quite dense and a bit like worried or concerned or fearful or just serious with ourselves.
Yeah, I think especially if we're in spaces that are more concerned with the stories, like the stories we bring with us that might be a bit challenging or that have shame around them, that can get pretty heavy pretty quickly. Yeah. But coming back into the body and being like, okay, well, how can I move this, and what sound does it make, and how can I transform something like the energy condensed within this weighty thing into something vibrant and alive.
Yeah.
And pleasurable.
100%. Yeah. Yeah. And I notice for myself that, the times where I'm actually most capable in my life, where I'm most effective and enjoying, not just the things that are easy to be enjoyed, but actually enjoying the challenging things too, and my work and my parenting. It's like the times where I'm doing best at that, I'm feeling light and playful in myself. And so it's a really big message and resourcing for adults, I think, as we become, as we continue to venture through our lives, that we're able to access a sense of playfulness and go to these places between ourselves and each other. It's a big gift.
Yeah, absolutely. How could I take this less seriously?
Totally. Yeah. Totally. Yeah. And not be, it's like we can still be respectful and have regard for, the tender parts of ourselves and other people and people's pain and challenge, but be able to access joy. It's really valuable.
Yeah. I think you actually, like, for me, I find that I am more of a resource for others when I'm not pulled into the gravity of what's happening for them. And I can offer that kind of balancing of, okay. And same for me. That's what I experience with, really good friends of mine is when I'm like, the weight of the world, or partners where like I feel really unsexy if they're like, oh, that's awful.
Yes.
Then we're just in it. But if they can be like, oh, who gives a shit, and we can get silly, and then I don't, I'm brought out of it. Yeah.
I feel like this really, like, we're already speaking to what we're here to talk about in a way, and that is like we're interested in this concept of community practice and having other people around us to actually be able to engage with a self-reflective process, to learn, to expand, to explore. And in the realms of sexuality and even just our embodiment and our kind of deeper personal feeling landscape, like what's happening for you internally, what are you feeling, what are the challenges in your life, what are you experiencing as you lean into something you desire, they can be all very personal things. And so I think a lot of people can be a bit uncertain about, well, like, why would I bring that to a group space? Why would I open up to a group space? Why would I rock up to a weekend where I stay somewhere for 3 nights with a bunch of mostly strangers? If I'm lucky, I know a few people. What's the value of having a community to be engaged with in these kinds of practices and explorations, particularly around sex and pleasure?
Yeah. I mean, so coming from a background in sex work, my job there is creating and like helping to curate with the other person these expansive erotic experiences where they're stepping into something that they hadn't experienced before, that's new, and having someone with them, having me with them to validate that, to witness that, to share in it and celebrate was like so beautiful to be able to work that way. And then I would see clients for quite some time, and sometimes this grief would come up around, oh, this is the only space I have for that in my life. It's only with you, and I wish I could experience this with others, or I wish that I could experience maybe sometimes with my partner. I wish I could experience this. I wish I'd grown up like this, where this was possible. Oh my God, so much of my life I had no idea. There's something really, really beautiful that happens when we give ourselves the opportunity to be in a group. We're social mammals. We're meant to be in groups. Like the dyad is a kind of weird construct, right? So being in a community space, in groups, in collectives, and practicing erotically is like so radical and liberating. It's like I'm just like I'm very passionate about it. And it feels like such a natural transition coming from the way that I've worked, which is very much mostly in this dyad. And coming into group spaces and doing group facilitation and just witnessing how much people get out of being being folded in, being accepted, that process of finding belonging with people that were strangers. And not just belonging like, okay, we can hang out and have a cup of tea, but belonging like, oh, we're naked and we're expressing, and I'm making sounds and I'm touching my genitals, and this is all okay. And not only is it okay, it's like ecstatic.
Yeah. This is the potential that's there.
And it can sound like, I say it, I'm like, oh, it can sound really out of this world, but it's actually really available.
Yeah, totally. I feel like this is such a useful moment, like, because I think some people's fears are like, well, if I'm coming to a group space and I'm talking about community practice, does that mean I have to be naked? Does it mean that I have to touch myself? Does it mean that I have to be touching other people or engaging sexually? And it's like, no, it doesn't mean that you have to be doing that. That's an option.
No, but like, you're allowed.
Yes.
Like, you're allowed, and you're also allowed to be sitting down, having a chill.
Yeah.
And just absorbing the atmosphere.
Yeah. And the practice can be as simple as having a conversation with another person about an erotic challenge or an erotic desire, which has never had language before, you know?
Absolutely. I think that's what I love about, somatic sex education, is this real emphasis on agency and on choosing being way more important than whatever you happen to do.
The actual content.
Yeah. And that's something that's so beautifully held at FEAST, I thought, when I was there last year, was this real permission to be exactly where you're at and engage in the way that feels right for you.
Yeah. Yeah. Beautiful. Yeah. I feel like I'd love to hear from you, what the value is of having, part of what I see is like multiple viewpoints. You get exposure to all of these different experiences of what it means to be a human, what it means to be an erotic creature. And I don't know that it's obvious to people what the benefits are of that, but I'm curious what your sense of the benefits are of having exposure and support from all these different people versus just being with your partner or just seeing a one-on-one practitioner. Like, it's very different. There's a transformative opportunity there.
Yeah, it's like completely immersive. It's like going in, like, if you were learning a language, you could have one person you have conversations with to try and learn this whole language, or you could go to the country and conduct daily life and have all these little conversations with people who are using the language differently. It's a completely different experience. And when you think about how learning happens through that practice and engagement and through modeling, if you're looking to learn and accelerate learning, being in this environment where you can have all those different kinds of interaction with different kinds of people all doing their thing in different ways, that's like an accelerant. Yeah, it's so valuable. Yeah.
And I feel like, as you say, like the highlighting of difference is really important to me, I think, because we can get so easily stuck in our sense of how things are and how they're meant to be, how I am as an individual. Like, this is how I, behave sexually, or these are the things I like, or no, I'll never try that because that's not enjoyable. I don't like that. Or this is my challenge. It's always been my challenge, whether it's something like not being able to orgasm, or, erectile challenges or early ejaculation challenges, those kinds of really like practical physical things. Or it could be just, I've never been able to ask for what I want in a relationship or in sex. Like, I've never been able to actually make a request, like, and that's who I am. We can become very identified in these particular circumstances.
Yeah. I think not only do you get identified with it, but you can feel very alone in it.
Yeah.
Like, something really beautiful about being in a group is if you've got a few people and you're saying, I'm having trouble with my erections, there's going to be someone else who's also experiencing that. And someone else who goes, oh, I was experiencing that, and then I had this practice, and maybe that's something that would help you. I
love that. I feel like there's two really clear things there for me, where it's like, one is the popping the bubble of aloneness and realizing how okay we are actually, and like how whatever we're facing is likely been faced by many other people before. And then also being exposed to the different possibilities of what it means to be a human and a sexual being, and getting to just even see gently, like just hear people have conversation or witness somebody in a moment of connection with someone else and be like, I'd never been open to that before, but now I've seen it. I can see how they feel. I can see the safety that's in this interaction or this exploration. Maybe it's possible for me to go there too. And just this gentle exposure that starts to open ourselves up and expand, like, what can you have? What can you enjoy? What is your capacity to communicate and feel, pleasure in your body?
Yeah. And also the capacity to really feel that even if it is never what you want to do, you can see other people enjoying it and go, isn't that so wonderful for them?
Yeah.
And so wonderful that I get the opportunity to witness that.
Yeah. Yeah. Beautiful.
Yeah.
Yeah. Nice. I feel like, when it comes to community practice, like shame is one of the things that just kind of sits in the background for me, hovering there as both a thing really seriously and dark and stern. And I think I don't know of a human being in the modern world who doesn't have some experience of shame somewhere in their life. I think shame can be a big blocker to accessing spaces like Feast. I think it can also be a big motivator, and it's probably one of the largest things that's up for transformation when you step into a space like Feast. What's your sense of the importance of community and community practice when it comes to getting to know shame, transforming shame, becoming empowered in the face of your potential shame and fear around certain things? What's the role of community in assisting an individual with that?
Yeah, we could see our personification of shame. It's like this sense of, I think you said dark as well. Like shame exists in the dark, in the places that we don't let light touch, that we don't let be seen. Hiding is such a core element of shame, and that's like, how it maintains itself. So coming into a space where you're being seen and seeing, and there's all this light being shone on aspects of our desire and expression that are not usually seen, it's such a huge catalyst for transforming it into whatever else it wants to become. Yeah, it's I think, again, there's this normalizing effect, right? Like you get in a group and you're like, I feel shame about this, and someone else goes, me too. I also feel shame about this.
Yeah.
And even in connecting through shame, it's transformed.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah. A whole bunch of it dissolves in that moment, actually.
Yeah, absolutely. And even if it's not shame about the same thing, just seeing each other and supporting each other to move into connection and love. I mean, what is shame? The parts of ourselves that we think are undeserving of love. To actually accept support and love from a place of feeling shame is so magical.
Yeah. And that's what I'm hearing from you, and what I know to be true myself as well, which is that, like, community is essential. There's aspects of that process we actually can't do alone. There's a shame is created in a social construct, which is in our referencing of ourselves in the view or in the eyes of our community or our society, or what's normal or what's right and wrong. And if we want to seek to live beyond that restricted sense of, I'm not okay in these ways, this is my list of the things that are wrong with me, or these are the list of, my list of the things that I can't love about myself, they can't be dissolved or loosened or changed without the eyes and support of other humans that are like, hey, let's do this. I'm up for this. Like, I don't want to live like that either. I want to be joyous. I want to be expansive. I want to have access to my expression. I want to be able to speak my truth freely. I want to be able to be natural amongst people. I want to be comfortable in my own skin. I want to feel powerful in my erotic experience of myself. But I don't know how to do it alone. I can't actually, because I do a bunch of work and then I show up in front of someone and this thing rears its head because I haven't done it in front of people. I haven't done it with the support of people.
Yeah, absolutely. I think it's like Sartre's, like shame is other people.
Yes.
Like shame is other people. And it's also like, it's in our internalize other people, the other people we're carrying with ourselves from our childhood or from other parts of our life, like people who maybe did intend to shame us or didn't, or just our projection of what they think. And then there are lots of people in the world, and you can find people who won't shame you and will celebrate you.
Yes. Yeah.
And you can start changing those stories or changing those inner voices.
Yeah. Yeah. I feel like that's a really key piece that you mentioned right now, because it's like, you don't just go to any group space, like, and that's part of the culture of Feast that we dedicate so much time and love to nurturing, which is a space where we can create a real cohesion amongst our group of people coming together who are really diverse. Like, we have big diversity in age, in background, in life experience, in culture and race, and it's like in sexual preference, in gender. And so when we're having that much diversity come together, it takes a real deep sense of regard, respect, love, compassion to be able to have all of those different experiences of life hanging out and being like, no, I can get you, I can care for you, I can support you. And that's why we dedicate that much time creating that culture, because it offers that opportunity. Then without that presence, without that willingness to love one another, to be caring and respectful towards one another, we can bring these pieces and then accidentally just end up reaffirming the thing that we've always carried.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think you do, like, what I was struck by at Feast last year was how much opportunity there is to connect with other people who are there, whether it's like the opening or how the workshops are being facilitated with reflection, group discussion, small group discussion, like so many different ways in which, like, all having dinner together. It's just so great. And I can imagine, even for someone coming who might find that a little bit, oh my goodness, I'm going to have to be talking to people all the time. There was no pressure around any of it. Yeah, it was really wonderful. And I heard that reflected from a lot of the participants as well, that was something that they didn't expect to experience, or didn't quite, have a sense of what that would feel like and how powerful it would be, and came away going, I just, like, I want more of that.
Yeah.
How do I get this to be ongoing?
Yeah, totally. Yeah, which is the mission we're on as well, because it's like we organize an epic event yearly, and part of us bringing on more team, being more connected to our facilitators ahead of the event, is this desire to nurture our community, to really be organically activating itself, and also to be serving our community more throughout the year, and connecting everyone. Because one of our biggest missions is, it's like we're bringing people together and really resourcing them, helping them transform, helping them solidify and kind of like fortify these beautiful, strong, important, authentic, unique parts of themselves, so they can go back out in the world and be messengers and agents of leadership and potential in their own lives, and set up their life in a way that brings people around them. And we know there's also a lot we can do to continue supporting that, because that is ultimately, I think, what most people that come to Feast want. They want that feeling, that sense of, living in alignment with what they desire in life ongoingly, not just once off. And yeah, Feast is a beautiful seeding point for that, I think.
Yeah, absolutely. I think you do a beautiful job. People form really close connections, and I imagine we'll be staying in contact after the festival. And yeah. And then there are, I'm sure, other ways that will develop, as it's still a young festival, that will develop, of how people integrate what they're doing with Feast, and create opportunities for this community to grow and reach everyone who might not even know yet that they want to be a part of it.
Yeah. Is there anything left that you feel like you haven't said that's like essential or core to your experience of the practice of being in community, being in erotic exploration and practice with other people?
I mean, I think we've done a lot of talking about the really positive potentials of that. And I suppose it is important to name that there can also be really tricky, things that come up in coming into a community space. Like, comparison is the one that springs to mind.
Yeah, totally.
Coming in and seeing what other people are doing, and instead of that being an exciting possibility, it's can bring up this like, oh, I don't have that in me, I'm not like them, I'm worse, I'm in some way, just becoming smaller in this moment, or feeling myself smaller through seeing like the bigness of what I'm perceiving as, however I'm perceiving this other person's experience. So I would kind of like to say about comparison that what is really lovely is about being in this community in particular is that while we're all sharing each other's experiences, the focus really is on what's happening in you and not making assumptions about what's going on for other people. I mean, I know that like I've been in spaces where I've felt that. I've felt that, and that's been like, what's this touching on? What is this touching on for me that I'm shutting down the conversation with myself through this negative comparison? That it's brought up this emotion. How can I look after myself in this moment? And sometimes I've gone like spoken to this person about the experience that I was like, they're just having a ball and they've got all this orgasmic potential, and oh my goodness, my body just doesn't do that. And that's like not the time they were having. Totally. They're having a completely different experience. And I just made all these wild assumptions. There's been a lot of value in that, even in the trickiness of it.
Totally. Yeah. I think those challenging moments can be some of the most valuable in many ways. And it's, the challenge is if you're ready to be self-responsible for them in a way, are the biggest gifts we can receive, because they point out parts where we're painting to grow almost, and I know comparison is a massive part of my journey. It's been a huge element of entering group space and just like constant dialogue about me in comparison to other people. And I think it's common because we live in a world right now that has metrics of what it means to be a good person or an ideal person. And as soon as we have metrics for that, then we're measuring ourselves against whether we feel like we're nailing that or not, and I think an ability that if you're ready to receive the gift and you can feel the love coming in, like part of the gift of a space like of a feast is you can relax into just you, like you said earlier, and it's like, the comparison might still come up, but pointing out where that's running in your head and giving you the opportunity to try something different,
and coming back to your body. I mean, that's the really exciting thing. It's like, okay, cool. Like there's all the heady stuff I can do with my comparison. And then there's, let's get rid of that for the moment. I can come back to it. And actually I'm here to feel.
Which is very relieving sometimes.
Isn't it?
There's a lot of places that try and head fuck us out of.
Totally. It doesn't work. I go, the sound inside my head is really loud. Maybe I could just make some really loud sound to drown it out for a moment. You have 3 amazing workshops that you're bringing to Feast this year. And I'm not going to invite us to speak in depth about them because there's awesome descriptions on our website, and I will drop the link to Sam's profile in the show notes of this episode. But I did want to just name them because they're fun names. There's Full Body Flirt, which you'll be co-facilitating with Yedidia. There's an evening offering that Sam and Kagi are facilitating together called Pillow Talk and Other Pleasures, Once Upon a Touch, which is like an erotic story time, just ultimate erotic bedtime stories.
Story zone, which, these are another one of those playful moments where it's like we can just repattern what it means to be an adult sometimes. And finally, I wanted to mention this last because it's with a crew who I want to name briefly, but you're doing partner engagement practices for erotic growth as well. And Sam is co-facilitating this with a number of other IE practitioners, and they are I'm going to mince my words for a moment, interactive erotic educators. They're trainers of that particular certificate, which are training practitioners to be able to offer interactive erotic education, which is a really cutting edge form of educational work, which helps people be able to learn through actually doing and experiencing, which I think when it comes to navigating our bodies and pleasure systems is so important. So we're really excited for that team to, bring their gifts to FEAST. It's an amazing crew of people with a lot of wisdom and experience.
Yeah, we're really excited to offer it. And like, while it's, it's cutting edge interactive erotic education, but then there's, hundreds, thousands of years of people doing sacred intimate work and all other kinds of education through doing. And I think really like the core of that and how it ties in so well, I think, to what we've already been talking about is co-regulation of partner engagement practices for erotic growth. And if we actually are figuring out how we can have other bodies around us as a resource, and ways to do that really intentionally and consentfully, and in our partnerships or in our friendships, wherever it feels appropriate, to be bringing in these ways of feeling good with each other.
Yeah. Awesome. So you are one of the IE trainers. You also facilitate EE classes online, erotic embodiment classes. You see people one-on-one, is that correct?
Yeah, I do.
Yeah, awesome. So tell us a little bit more about your work for a moment, and I will also drop links to Sam's work in this episode.
Great. So my work, I have a sex work practice where I do interactive erotic education, which I love. It's so cool to be able to learn alongside my clients while still holding an experience from a space of having done, quite a lot of study in my own practice, being able to introduce new ways of orienting to touch or supporting them in slowing down and feeling and cultivating more awareness of what's happening in their bodies throughout a connective erotic experience. And then I have other offerings as well, like I'm doing some sexological bodywork sessions and some sessions with people in relationship who want to be experiencing some of these partner engagement practices, experiential ways of connecting, maybe doing less like cognitive narrative emotional processing and more letting things move through their bodies and evolving into pleasure, which amazingly is I find much more supportive of eroticism in a relationship.
Actually much more productive.
And then the interactive erotic educator training is incredible. We just finished our second run through with a whole new cohort. And what I love about those spaces is how much I also learn from being a facilitator. We're really wanting to activate the skills and knowledge that is already existing in the group. And I think that's actually what's happening so much at FEAST or any festival like this, any kind of embodiment practice, is everyone's been living their whole life with a body. Everyone's been doing this to some extent their entire life. We can all learn so much from each other, from listening to each other, and from other people's experiences. So having that really centered in an educational space for practitioners has been super rich. And then erotic embodiment classes. I'll be teaching classes with Tia Cloher online. Awesome. Erotic embodiment for queer people. So people who identify as queer. And if you're questioning whether you're queer enough, you are queer enough. We will be teaching online on Wednesdays from 6:30 till 8 Victoria time. So we'll put information about that as well.
Cool. Beautiful. Yeah. So many juicy ways to engage. I love it.
Yes, it's very exciting. Yeah. It's a very very fertile time.
I would love to finish this wonderful chat with you because by asking something, because I really sense like the richness of our facilitator body. Like we've got so many unique individuals, and you're one of them, who have so much wisdom and knowledge, and you share it in various ways with the world. And like what I want to hear is like what inspires you? Why do you choose to bring that to Feast? What is it about Feast that you decide to then show up and bring your gifts, bring your service and love to our space and support our participants?
I approach facilitation for me, and I imagine others feel this way, but maybe don't frame it this way. I'm not sure. I'll just talk from my experience. I approach facilitation as a sort of creative practice. Like it's a poetic process, often drawn from where I'm at and what I'm learning, what I'm integrating. So this kind of bringing something to a community and having all of these amazing bodies and brains to offer it to is so amazing for me in my process. And I just love the interweaving. I just love the interweaving of it. So that's really what inspires me to bring it. It's yeah, I don't know. It's a sowing and a harvesting at the same time.
Yeah. Awesome. Thank you so much, Sam. Thanks for spending time with me today and for sharing what you have with our awesome community and people that are new to the space. We're really excited to be with you up here in Northern New South Wales in the hinterland at our beautiful venue, 21st to 24th of May, Feast 2026. We're going again, and yeah, we've got such a beautiful crew and you're one of them, and excited to put on this wonderful event for this growing community of brave explorers.
Can't wait.